Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Earrings Off. We want to invite you to subscribe, rate, and leave us a review. You can find us on Facebook at Earrings Off Podcast and on Instagram at The Earrings Off Podcast.
Welcome to Earrings Off. I'm Lou.
And I'm Teresa.
Okay, this week's episode is titled From Lip Gloss to Bonnet Life, What We Do Now Without Shame. In this week's episode, Teresa and we talk about things we now feel comfortable doing in front of our partners after years of being together. You might be able to identify, and you might find just a bit of humor in today's episode. And let's face it, we all could use a chuckle right about now. So, by all means, get comfortable and listen in. How are you doing, partner?
I don't know what's going to come out of your mouth in this episode, I tell you that.
Well,
How
you
are
know
you?
what? Be very afraid.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. You know what? This podcast has done something because when we first started, I was so guarded about, both of us, we were so guarded about what we would share. And Teresa, remember, we went to the acting classes and we took other classes and it's been, hey, partner, it's been 6 years.
It's
So,
been 6 years. Whoop, whoop.
woohoo! So, we've learned to just lighten up a bit. So, yeah, but you're doing all right?
I am. I'm hanging in there.
Hanging
Yep.
in is good. Hanging
Yeah.
in is
You
good.
too, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
too.
Hanging in. Yeah, yeah.
Like, you care to share a little bit about that obsession you got going on right now?
No, you know what? I do not. And I have
Okay.
I have no idea what you are referring to. None at all.
Oh, where's your mind, girl? I'm talking about pickleball.
I
Come
know,
on now.
I know that's what you're talking about. I know that's what you're talking about.
Oh,
And
I thought you
no,
thought I was talking about that other thing. But
no,
anyway, I would
no.
never bring that up in public.
No, I thought you were talking about pickleball, but I share my pickleball stuff with you. It's not ready for public display yet, particularly since I'm getting beaten every other day. But anyway, there you have it. Okay? So,
Mhm.
yeah.
All right, Lou, let's get into it.
Okay. Okay.
So, like you said, we're talking about how our long-term relationships change the way we act in front of our partners.
Yes, yeah. Yeah.
Like the things we used to keep hidden, but now, child, what? We don't even care, right?
I know. And I tell you, Teresa, I thought when we talked about doing this episode, I thought about when I was newly married. I tell you, I used to treat my period like it was a top secret operation, like it wasn't the natural experience that it is. But I was even back then, somewhat embarrassed by it. So everything related to that time of the month was tucked away and hidden. It was pushed to the back of, in the bathroom. It was hidden behind things. And then I thought about this when we talked about this episode. Then once I got comfortable in the relationship, I not only stopped hiding anything, I thought nothing of knowing my supplies were running low, having that she go pick up stuff. I was very serious, very specific about what I wanted. No, be sure and get the big pack, the ones with the wing, and look at the colors. And I need unscented. And I mean, I thought nothing of it. And it's
Wait a
just
minute. Wait a
amazing.
minute. Let me ask you something though. What did he think of it? Did
He thought nothing of it.
he thought
He
nothing of
he
it?
thought
Now
nothing
that
of
is
it. I know,
interesting.
right? He thought I have always been surprised by that. If I needed something, he didn't care what it was. Now she would go to the store, come back with big bags of things. Like that was just totally no.
You
I
know
got
what?
And truth be told, I got to the point he was so good at it, I didn't even concern make sure you stock up on this for me.
Lou, that's hilarious. Robert
Yeah,
would have
yeah.
never.
No, that's
I have never asked him to do that because
really.
no, if I ever were to have given out,
Uh-huh.
I think he probably would have. I don't know what he probably would have hired
Well, and
someone to
see,
pick it up.
I thought now she would have been like that. Now she had no problem with it,
Mm-mm,
none at
mm-mm,
all. And so,
mm-mm.
I tell you that, and let me tell you my other situation that I got. Okay, I should be embarrassed, but I'm not. I've already started. And actually, I've written a blog about it, so it's not a secret. But, the chin hair situation. Once I got through menopause and I would notice this hair coming out of my chin, I used to run to the salon like it was, that was something else I didn't want him to know about. How dare
Mm.
he ever see a visible hair on my face? And now, Teresa, I don't even go to the salon. I figured out the process myself, buy my little product. I do my own wax on my face, and I used to do that in secret. I would hide that.
Mm,
I would
mm.
do it in the bathroom at night when I was sure he wasn't going to be around. Now I'm out talking to him, watching the show with this stuff lathered on. I mean, it's on my face. And then when I go back and finish the process, I think nothing is coming out and saying, "Do you see any hair? Did I get it all?" And he
Oh
thinks
my
nothing is saying,
goodness.
"No, I don't see anything. No, it's fine." So
I
I've
haven't
gotten
reached
too, I've gotten too comfortable, too comfortable.
you are comfortable. I haven't reached that stage yet, so I'm not sure,
Well,
how Robert will
well,
will respond if I
Well, I that's good you haven't reached that because sometimes I might be too comfortable because you know how you hear comedians or people saying, make sure you keep your relationships alive and be careful what you wear around the house and always be presentable and always be girly girly. I'm like, no, I'm more like Oscar and I'm past that point.
Girl, you know what? What about pooping?
Oh yeah.
So, true story. I mean, I would, when Robert and I were dating, even in my own place, if he
Yeah.
were to stop by to
Yeah.
visit, I would hold it.
I
But
know,
even
right?
in my own place, it's like
I
I gotta
know.
wait till he's gone.
I know.
And
How
don't
dare he think that you actually poop, right? Oh,
And
Lord.
girl, you don't know how
Yeah.
many times, just upsetting my stomach and
I,
my gut microbiome by holding
I
all
know.
of that in when
I
I
know.
needed to let it go. I know so much more now. I probably would have never started out being embarrassed if I knew then what I know now
I know.
about that whole process. But girl, no. And the best thing that was ever created was poopery. And do you
I
realize the story behind that? You
no.
don't know that story? Oh my gosh, I hope I don't mess it up. But the lady, you know what poopery
Yeah,
is.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So,
It's the
poop
stuff you spray before you go.
before you go.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. The lady who created poopery said, after you've done and you spray it, you still have the mixture of both smells.
And you do. You do.
So,
Yeah, yeah,
so she created something that you spray in the toilet, and
yeah.
it saved relationships, right? Including her own.
Yeah.
And so that was the best thing. But that came much later after I didn't care anymore.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean,
Right?
but let's look at that. Isn't that something how it changes? And but Teresa, you're talking about how it changes in terms of okay, now you're a little bit more comfortable, that your partner or your husband knows that you're human and you poop and you're healthy. But Teresa, I've gone past that point. Now, we're actually discussing pooping,
Oh my goodness, we do too. We do too.
Teresa, when we just finished that fast we were
Oh my
on,
gosh, every day we had a poop up.
a large part of our conversation was about pooping. Okay.
It was.
Isn't
It
that
was.
something?
It
Yeah.
is. It is. And I'll tell you what, even you can learn a lot about your poop, but we're not, this is not that show.
No, this is
That's for
not the show.
another podcast. But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
tell you, I help my daughter a lot. When she's feeling a little upset, I tell her, take a picture and send it. And she's like, Mom, I'm like, I need to know what
What?
it looks like so I can help you feel
Okay, Teresa.
better.
Okay, I'm gonna help you with this. That's really too much information, and you're gonna be in some serious trouble. So let's get
Oh,
off of
you're right,
that. Let's
especially
get
mentioning
off of that.
her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so don't get me started about going to bed looking cute, child.
Oh,
You
that's
remember those
enough.
days?
Oh, yes. Oh, I remember when I would spend a good part of my budget money I couldn't even afford on what I was going to be sleeping in.
Sleeping
I
in,
think about that now,
right?
especially like for special occasions, Valentine's or the anniversary. I wanted something special. Yeah.
Lou, I have to tell you this. This is another real story. This happened with me and Robert. So I'm a tomboy. I think I've told you that.
Yeah, yeah.
I never, even in college, I never bought the little cute pajama sets. Now my mother bought them for me, but I wouldn't
Yeah.
wear them,
Yeah.
right? But I was always a t-shirt kind of girl with holes
Yeah,
in it
yeah,
and
yeah.
all of that.
Yeah.
But when I met Robert and the relationship progressed, I had a roommate who was all into that stuff. She took me shopping, and when I tell you I got the cutest little things, and I was like, these things are so uncomfortable. You can't sleep in them.
I know.
But what did I do? I
Yeah.
wore them every time.
Oh yeah.
And
And
as soon as I got comfortable, girl, I pulled out my t-shirts,
oh
my
yeah.
big t-shirts.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I tell you, my sister-in-law, I mean, I love her like a sister. I think because we traveled and have family events and we're in hotels, I don't think she likes my sleep attire because a few years ago she brought me the nicest set. And I thought because she's all into the foo-foo thing. I mean, she has a different set every night and all of this when we travel. And I'm like, she probably was thinking to herself, "Oh, Lou, really? We're gonna have to do better than that."
Yeah,
But
she
I
probably,
just like to be comfortable. That's all.
yeah,
Yeah. And
me,
I'm gonna tell you,
me
and
too.
pajamas are one thing, and then I have, my everyday attire. If I'm not going out and stuff, that I got the same either my workout stuff on that I wear every day, or the same little house outfit, house dress that I probably should have retired a few years ago. But now she just sort of he just rolls with it. Well,
Well,
that's not really true. He looks, shake his head, and he's sort of looking like he's saying, "Lord, somebody please help me. Help me."
right, right. Like if I'm walking around the house in something that's nicer than all the things you just described,
Yeah.
what Robert will say is, "Where are you going?
Really?
You going? Are you about to go somewhere?" Because I do. I walk around the
Yeah.
house looking like a total bomb, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
comfortable. Don't judge me.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, I do the same thing. I throw on my, same set of leggings or what in my t-shirt, and I'm just sort of rolling with it. But the
Mm.
other day, I might have gone too far because I had on my leggings and this t-shirt that I wear in the house. I was just gonna run to Lowe's, right, to just pick up a plant, and then she saw me going. He said, "You're going out with that on?" And I just like, I was just running the Lowe's. He said, "Lou, really?" So I had to come back and
It's
change. So I think I might have pushed it a
a
little
little
too
too
far
far.
that day.
Did you wear makeup though back in the day?
You know what? I've never really been a makeup kind of person. And we are all a product of our upbringing. And my mom really didn't care for girls wearing a lot of makeup. And so I grew up hearing that in my head. And so I've never really worn a lot of makeup. I mean, I don't even, well, part of it too, I never really learned how to apply it
Yeah.
like other women that can make it look like a masterpiece. And I just never really got, the knack of that. And so I just never really wore a whole lot. What about you?
I didn't, but my thing was the hair, child. I had to have, whenever he would come visit, the hair had to be
Oh,
done.
well, yeah, yeah,
And
that's what I
then,
say. Yeah.
yeah, it was, and then, I have to pretend like, I didn't spend all this money and go to bed without
Yeah,
that rag around
yeah,
my
yeah,
head that I
yeah,
would
yeah,
usually put on there and wake up thinking, oh my gosh, I just wasted a bunch of money. But, but yeah, it was the hair for me. But you know
yeah.
what? You know when it all changed for me, Lou?
When's that?
When I got pregnant,
Hmm. Hmm.
you know, like all the things, the hair, the pajamas, all that stuff. It was like, okay,
Yeah,
there are much more important things happening right now. And that's when I really found out that he didn't even care.
yeah,
He
yeah.
wasn't even bothered by
And
any of those things.
Teresa, when you talked about the hair, when I think about, Lord, if I had the money that I have spent on my hair
Oh
through the
my. You,
years,
mm.
I mean, I probably would have a small fortune because, back in the day, it used to be quite expensive. Probably is now, but I don't do the perm and stuff anymore, so I don't know. But I know it was very expensive to get the perms and to the retouch and then to go back and get it done. I mean, I'm trying to think. I know I spent probably almost $200 sometimes a month, and
Oh
I didn't
yeah.
even have $200 to spend back then.
There are people who are laughing at you right now. That's nothing.
What?
That is
That's
nothing.
nothing. Oh my
No,
Lord.
no,
That one,
that
yeah.
is nothing. Because I just saw a video of a woman who went and she had natural hair, but she had it blown out. She had it cut. She had a color
Mhm.
and a style, right?
Yeah.
$1,000. It looked
Ter-
gorgeous, let me
Teresa,
tell you.
was she a celebrity or something?
No, no, Lou, no.
How can you afford that?
1 grand is what she spent at this. That they did a treatment with steam and mist, and they did all these things to it. But still, I was shocked to hear $1,000, but it was a thousand
Oh,
dollars.
that's a lot. That's a lot.
She
But
looked absolutely gorgeous,
yeah,
though.
yeah. Well, you know what? Sometimes you got to do what you got to do, I tell you. But I'm telling you, the thing is, skincare, you
Mm.
know, spending a lot. Used to be very concerned about doing little facials and things at night, and I don't really do that anymore either, you know? So, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Lou, you've gotten out of a lot of habits.
I have, but you know what, Teresa? To be truth be told, my philosophy has changed a bit in terms
Mm.
of my routine because I think if I try to take care of my inside, my health, that a lot of the things I used to be fixated on, that's not really what I'm thinking about now. That's just like when you said, when, you changed, when you became pregnant. For me, it was getting that diagnosis of high blood pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Once I got that, it wasn't that I didn't, it's just my focus had to change. I knew I had to find a hairstyle that worked for me, so that I could work out. I had to maybe, like one time I used to do those, foot baths and they had a lot of salt in them. So I had to stay away from that. So my point is, it wasn't just I got more comfortable in the relationship. My focus shifted to more of what can I do that doesn't just mask beauty, but is more from a health perspective, if that makes
That
sense.
It makes a lot of sense because that's what happened, what shifted
Yeah.
when I became pregnant. I
Right.
mean, at the when it was time for a perm when I found out that I was pregnant, so I didn't get it. I haven't had one since,
Right.
because Robert was like, "You're not doing that,"
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And he all of the extra things we didn't need. He was the one who said you should be sleeping in cotton and not silk,
Right.
the things
Yeah.
of that nature. So it was all about my health, so that I could have then a healthy baby.
Right. Right.
So that's
And
when it
see,
all shifted.
for me, it was, yeah. I totally get that. And you know how I can be, I want to say cheap, but I'm cost conscious. So when I started thinking about the money that I was investing in things, and I had different priorities too. So that shifted. And we talk a lot on the show about women taking care of ourselves and making ourselves a priority, which is all very true. But when the reality of the mortgage and the different payments, I started looking at how much was I spending on some things that maybe weren't a priority at that season in my life. So,
Yeah.
so
I,
it's about becoming comfortable, but it's also about shifting priorities, I think. So,
mm-hmm,
yeah,
mm-hmm,
yeah.
mm-hmm,
So, that's really the beauty of it. Long-term love means you stop performing and you
mm-hmm.
just show up as yourself. Chin hair, house dress, pajamas, and all. You're
That
just
it.
feeling comfortable being you. Almost like,
Exactly, Lou. Exactly. Because you know what? Real love is knowing you can be your full, unfiltered self and still be loved.
amen. So, listeners, what's something you now do in front of your spouse or partner that you would have never done in the early years? Share that with us. And we just might give you a shout out in an upcoming episode.
Remember, your authentic self is more than enough. Till next time, take good care.